So hello and welcome to today's class. You may want a block. I have this here to remind me. It's a nice to have, not a need to have. And by request, balance and core. So generally balance and core is really challenging, but remember we're very new into 2023 and maybe it's been a while since you've done some yoga. So do pace yourself. Just listen to your body. Actually, pace yourself is not the right words. Listen to your body at every moment. If it seems like, yeah, I can usually do this, but today maybe not so much, listen to that, okay? So as always with any class, you can make it as challenging or as gentle as you like, and I'll give cues for both. So let's get started in child's pose or whatever centering posture you want to right now. Taking a moment to get all settled in. Maybe it's the first centering posture you've done in a while. So if you're in child's pose, really allowing the hips to melt down towards the feet. Maybe even feeling a gentle stretch. And just taking a few slow, deep breaths here. And checking in with the body. This is really good to do always, but especially if it's been a while or if you haven't been practicing as much regularly recently, just take a quick peek at the ankles, knees, hips, the spine, the shoulders, just checking in, seeing how things are feeling. No judgment. If there's any tightness, just noticing that, letting your body know you will honor it as we move through class today. And then slowly make your way up through hands and knees, pausing at hands and knees. So we'll even do this part a little bit slowly. Focusing on core today, draw the belly in. On hands and knees, let's just rock side to side. So one of the things which kind of seems weird, for me, I don't know if this is everyone else too, but my wrists get out of shape, like almost more than my legs do, or any other part of my body. So just warming up the wrists a little bit. And then moving a little bit forward, gentle, 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 and a little bit back, nice and slow. So you'll notice it stretches the wrists a little bit. If not, feel free to move a little bit more forward, just 1 millimeter. So we want gentle stretch, not a lot, because we aren't warmed up yet. Just a few more, rocking forward and back at your own pace. Take your time. Last one. And then we'll head up and back to that first downward facing dog. So again, taking a little bit of extra time to feel that space in the backs of the legs. I like to walk the dog, especially if it's been a while. And also checking in with the legs. When we do downward dog, we're stretching kind of like 3 separate parts of the back of the leg. There's the hamstring, so top of the leg, there's the calves, lower half of the leg, and then there's the ankles, the Achilles tendons. See if you can recognize the stretch in all 3 areas. Probably not at the same time. If legs are straight, maybe it's more the calves. If they're bent a little, maybe it's more the hamstrings. When you're walking the dog, maybe it's more of the Achilles. And then maybe bending the knees a little and reaching the heart towards the feet. So feeling a little stretch in the shoulders for down dog. While we're doing all of these things, blood flow is moving towards the brain, so making us more alert, which is awesome. And then send the feet forward all the way to the top of your mat, landing in a forward fold with the feet parallel. So decompressing the spine, feeling a little bit of traction between each vertebra. Maybe a little yes, no movement with the head, nice and gentle, or a no. Allowing the neck to feel some space. And then one vertebra at a time, ragdoll, so that we're stretching each tiny little space between each vertebra, all the way up to standing. And then we'll get moving a little bit. So we'll head into some sun salutations. You can make these as gentle or as vigorous as you want to. So I'll guide you through. We'll do sun A and sun B. I'm going to go towards the gentler side today because reasons. So here we go. Standing up nice and tall, scooping the belly in, so lots of space in the waist, taking even a moment for Tadasana, mountain pose. The fingertips are reaching towards the floor and we're opening up across the shoulders without arching the back. So keeping those low ribs in, but wide across the shoulders. Top of the head feels like it's pressing an imaginary button on the ceiling. And here we go. On an inhale, raise the arms up and take a moment here. So remember, you've got options for your arms. You can step them apart till they're parallel or even wider. I like to draw them back to feel a stretch. And just a couple deep breaths here. This is one of my favorite stretches ever. And then nice and slow, forward fold. So feeling that length in the backs of the legs, all the way down to Uttanasana on a Saturday morning. Just a couple deep breaths here. 1. And 2. From here, we'll send the feet back to a strong plank. Belly scoops in. So remember, we've got core as our focus today. So pulling the belly in, remembering our options for chaturanga. You can lower the knees down or keep legs straight. Lowering chaturanga. Feel that strength in the arms. Inhaling for cobra or upward facing dog, whatever's in your practice today. And exhale, downward facing dog. Or maybe it's a child's pose. Few deep breaths. So starting to just pick up the pace a little bit. That's already 3. 4. And 5. Send the feet forward all the way to the top, looking up for flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, all the way up, reaching way up high. And exhale to a tall mountain. Number 2, inhale, arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale for flat back. Exhale, plank, and lower. Inhale for cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Few deep breaths. And send the feet forward all the way to the top, looking up for flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, all the way up, reaching way up high. And exhale to a tall mountain. Just one more of A. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, looking up. Exhale, send the feet back and lower, chaturanga. Inhale, up. And exhale, downward facing dog. Few deep breaths. That's 3. 4. And 5. Send the feet forward all the way to the top, looking up for flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, all the way up, reaching up high. And exhale to a tall mountain, preparing for sun salutation B. So feet together. Here we go. Bend the knees, arms sweep up for Utkatasana. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale for flat back. Exhale, send the feet back and lower. Inhale, up. And exhale, downward facing dog. Right foot steps forward, back heel spins down to the ground, and come on up for warrior 1. Let's take our time here though. This may be our first warrior 1 of 2023. Nice and easy. So Sthira Sukham Asanam, steadiness and ease in the pose. We want it to have that feeling of ease. So not too difficult. If it is, your stance is too wide. Couple deep breaths. And heading down through lunge, stepping it back to plank and lower. Inhale, up. Exhale, downward dog. Other side, left foot steps forward, back heel spins down. Come on up. Same care and attention on that second side. Feeling that nice stretch in the back hip, long through the waist. I suppose we shouldn't stay here too long. Let's head down through lunge, back to plank, and lower. Inhale, up. Exhale, downward dog or child's pose. Few deep breaths. So remember, you get to decide how much effort we're putting in today. More is not always better. Whatever your body needs today is better. Slow, deep breathing. And send the feet forward, all the way into flat back. Exhale, forward fold, feet together. Bend the knees, arms sweep up for chair pose. And standing tall back to mountain. Number 2, bend the knees, arms sweep up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale for flat back. Exhale, plank. Remember, you can still lower your knees if you want to keep it a little more gentle. Chaturanga. Inhale, up. Exhale, downward dog. Right foot steps forward, back heel spins down to the ground. Come on up for warrior one. And down through lunge, back to plank, and lower. Inhale, up. Exhale, downward dog. Left foot steps forward, back heel spins down to the ground. Come on up. And down through lunge, back to plank, and lower. Inhale, up. Exhale, down dog, or I highly recommend child's pose. Few deep breaths. Slowing it down. That's already 4. And 5. Send the feet forward all the way to the top, looking up for a flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Feet together, bend the knees, arms sweep up for chair pose. And standing tall back to mountain. Just take a moment. I don't like the word procrastination, but we're just taking a moment before the last one. Maybe adjust the wardrobe, take a second, couple deep breaths. And then just one more to make sure we're nice and warm. Here we go. Bend the knees, arms sweep up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale for flat back. Exhale, plank, and lower. Inhale, up. Exhale, downward dog. Right foot steps forward, back heel spins down. Come on up for warrior one. And down through lunge, plank, and lower. Inhale, up. Exhale, downward dog. Last time, last side. Left foot steps forward, back heel spins down. Warrior one. And down through lunge, plank, and lower. Inhale, up. Exhale, downward dog or child's pose. Few deep breaths. And send the feet forward all the way to the top. Looking up for a flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Feet together. Bend the knees. Arms sweep up. And standing tall. Back to mountain. Whew. So from here, heading into a really fun standing pose. Urdhva Hastasana.
which is just sort of plain old hands up pose, but we get to alter it slightly and use it as a conditioning exercise. So my camera cuts off here, so you'll have to, anyways, we're going to be standing in mountain pose and then raise the arms up for Urdhva Hastasana. So your arms obviously can be wherever you want them to. I'm going to kneel so you can see my arms. You guys stand up. So lifting up nice and tall. Remember, your arms can be anywhere. This is for the core. So belly scoops in, lifting up tall. And on the exhale, tilting over to the right. So nice and slow, using all sorts of abs. Breathing normally, keep the belly scooped in. Belly scoops in even more as you inhale back to center. And a couple deep breaths here. You're probably going to be feeling the shoulders as well as the core. If you're not feeling the core, pull the belly in more. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, other side. Belly scoops in as you tilt over to the side. Couple deep breaths here. Scoop the belly in more, more, more. Lifting, lengthening, reaching. And belly scoops in again as you inhale all the way up. And we'll relax the arms. Isn't that fun? Okay, so now that we got our core a little bit warmed up, we can do tree pose, Vrikshasana, balance posture. Before we head into it, so tree pose, of course, is standing on one leg and trying to stay there. So the trick to staying there, honestly, it's in the ankle. When I realized this, it was game changing for all of my balance postures, including ones on your hands. It's the same principle. So when we normally go into tree pose, let's head into it now. So standing on the left leg, right leg tips out to the side, place the foot either below the knee or pick it up, place it above the knee. So just do it as normally for a moment. Maybe you've got good balance, maybe you don't. Try to feel in your body where you're adjusting your balance. So I just about fell over there. It was at my waist. I tilted over and came back. So usually we move at the waist. But if you change that to the ankle and think about the foot as it rocks back and forth between the big toe and the pinky toe, and just notice, because balance is never like, and we're there and we hold. It's always moving towards balance. So I actually almost on purpose rock back and forth between the big toe and the pinky toe, because that helps me maintain balance. And the same principle applies when you're on your hands too. When I was first learning handstand, my teacher taught me to rock, like actually like almost lift up one hand and then the other, and this keep going back and forth. And it's amazing how I could stick a handstand when I rocked back and forth, but could not for the life of me hold it just steady. So it is a good tool to use for balance, and it strengthens your ankle at the same time in tree pose here. One more deep breath here. And release. Oh, that feels like a lot is happening, because a lot is happening. Let's change sides. So thinking again about the ankle motion or the rocking side to side. Right leg is sturdy, left leg tips out to the side, below the knee or above the knee. Try to do the same thing on the second side. And at first, just notice where you're tipping. I always do in the waist, and I think most people's natural instinct is the waist. But then start to get just a little bit of a rocking motion happening. Pinky toe, big toe, pinky toe, big toe. And it'll kind of like go pinky toe, wobble, wobble, big toe, wobble, wobble. And that is holding balance, and you'll be so much more steady. It's kind of a cool little life hack. I guess you'd call it a yoga hack. And the waist moves as well. I mean, it can, but if you can catch it at the foundation, right near the foot, it's amazing how much more steady the upper body becomes. She says as she falls over. I said it's helpful. I didn't say it was magic. Keep going a little bit longer. As always, if you fall out, get right back in. One more deep breath here. And relax. Oh, that is something else. Okay, so from here, let's move right away into another balancing posture. We'll head into warrior 3. And I got my pants for this one. So same principle applies, the rocking motion of the supporting leg. So let's land on the right foot, left toes out behind you. The arms in a T position is the easiest to find balance. I'm going to go ahead and just start out right here because why not? And then left leg lifts up. And same thing, feel that rocking motion side to side on the supporting foot. So the other cool thing about balance postures is they can help us find balance in life. And that sounds kind of hooey, but how this works is, so if you're here in warrior 3, even if you're holding it super duper steady, if someone was like, hey, can you start juggling while you're standing there? Like, would that be fun? You'd be like, no, I want to just, this is max. I'm maxed right now. Hey, do you want to hold this thing? Or do you want to do my taxes while you're in warrior 3? No, I'm good. I'm good right here. Last couple moments here. So we need to learn this lesson in life to not overfill our plates. We've only got so much time in a day. Big deep breath and come on out, shaking or rolling out that right side. Preparing for the other side. So standing on the left, right leg sweeps back, arms go up, as does that leg. Finding the balance, feeling that rocking side to side on the supporting foot. So again, just to sort of summarize, the trick to finding balance in life is to not overdo things. Just like you wouldn't overdo it on the mat. The second most important thing about finding balance is to not feel frustration when you get overwhelmed or when you fall over. So you fall over, you just get right back in. Same in life. If you're like, oops, I committed to way too many things, try not to stress. It's easier said than done. But if we fail, we try again. It's just what we do. And eventually we will get stronger, both on and off the mat. Last few moments here. And come on out back to mountain pose. Balance and core is hard, you guys. So I think that last little notation is probably the most important. Like, yeah, don't overwhelm yourself on or off the mat, but also just learn to be steady in your mind, right? Sthira Sukham Asanam, steadiness and ease in the pose and in life. So let's move on to a little bit of core. Either just have a seat and wait for me, or if you want a little extra oomph this morning, we'll vinyasa there. Inhale, arms go up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale for flat back. Exhale. Send the feet back. We're not going to do a full vinyasa. And then gently lower the knees to a modified plank. So what we do here for this one is we scoop the belly in. I'm watching the clock, so I don't make you do this too long. Tuck the toes under. And then straighten through the legs to plank. Fun, right? And then we belly scoops in, and then we gently lower the knees back to the mat, to our modified plank. And again, belly scoops in, and we straighten the legs. Belly scoops in, and we lower the knees. Just a couple more rounds. You can make this more gentle by going slower. So we'll slowly straighten the legs. And then we slowly bend the knees. And then maybe you just need a couple more moments here. Or maybe you want to straighten the legs, belly scoops in strong. Try to make it more about the core than anything else. And then gently lower the knees back down. And then we'll take a child's pose. So that's supposed to be for the core. I'm feeling it in the arms and the shoulders and I don't know, my eyebrows kind of everywhere. Couple deep breaths. Couldn't you just nap right there? Instead, we'll do a different core exercise. I'm going to do the modified version of this. Feel free to do the full version. So starting in a modified plank or a full plank. So if you're feeling ambitious this morning, tuck the toes under and send the knees up to a full plank. And then belly scoops in, move your right knee towards your nose. Hold, hold, and back to plank or modified plank. Other side, left knee to nose. Hold, hold, and back to plank or modified plank. Again, belly scoops in, nose to knee, hold, hold, and back to modified plank or plank. Last time, left knee to nose. Hold, hold, and back to plank or modified plank. We'll lower chaturanga. Inhale for cobra. Nice bendy back. And release. And pressing up and back to child's pose or downward dog, whichever you prefer. I'm going to head into down dog because I really feel like I need to stretch more. Couple deep breaths. And gently lowering through hands and knees or coming up through hands and knees. And then we'll head all the way back where we'll use our block. So with core, especially if it's been a while, I like to bring it way back to the very beginning as if you had zero core muscles, because some of us don't right now after a couple of weeks of holidays. So what we do is lay back as if you were going to head into bridge pose, Setu Bandha Sarvangasana. So laying back, and then we'll rest the hips on our block. So carefully, gently, the lowest setting is good. So the hips go up on the block. And then just take a second. So find that space where the hips feel like you can really relax on them. You're not going to fall off. It's kind of like under the SI joints. And then, even though it feels like we're just doing nothing and sitting here and it's restorative, we are doing something. This might be TMI, but our internal organs, they shift in flight a little bit when you go upside down. So here we are inverted slightly. So almost you can feel the internal organs moving up towards the diaphragm. When we stand up all day, they all move downward, right? Gravity, everything moves downward. So even feeling like, I like this sort of position because then you can even feel your skin moving upward, you know, in the cheekbone area, especially I like that feeling. So see if you can be body aware enough to feel that sensation of all the organs just shifting slightly. After we've been here for a while, now we get to use our core. So there's two kind of different actions that we do in yoga. One is Mula Bandha, which is like pelvic floor. And then the other one is Uddiyana Bandha, which is the belly scooping in and up. So we'll start with Mula Bandha first, which is kind of like doing a Kegel, honestly. So what we do is squeeze the pelvic floor and we hold. So pelvic floor, if you're like, I don't understand what that is, it's just like if you had to go to the bathroom, but there was none near, you'd have to squeeze to hold. And that's all we're doing. And there's muscles. And when those are strong, it helps all of our yoga poses that involve core. So it helps our tree pose. Keep squeezing, by the way, holding. I'm yammering away at you, but we're still exercising here, as you can tell. So that internal core muscle is really, really kind of a little life hack that a lot of us don't have. And relax. Take a moment. Feeling gravity moving upwards. And then again, so pelvic floor squeeze and hold. So you might notice your belly scoops in as well. That's okay. Eventually we get so good at our core muscles that we can isolate the pelvic floor and then the abdominal muscles. But if right now you're like, I don't know, everything's squeezing, that's totally okay too. So breathing deeply, even though your core is engaged. See if you can give it a try. Relax the stomach muscles or the tummy muscles, but keep the pelvic floor engaged. Just a little bit longer. And release. Okay, now shifting to Uddiyana Bandha. So the belly scooping in and up. Here we go. So belly scoops in and up, not the pelvic floor, just the belly. Scooping in and up, and you might notice, well, everything sort of goes together. That's okay. But especially focusing on belly scooping in and up. So this isn't true Mula Bandha or Uddiyana Bandha. It's just the essence of. Belly scooping in and up, still holding. I like to kind of poke my belly, make sure those muscles are working. Mine are like kind of. I poke, I still feel squish because it's the holiday belly. So wake up. A little bit longer. And release. So completely relax. Let it feel squishy. And when you're taking a couple deep breaths, when you're relaxing, raise the belly up. So let it completely relax. Big inhale. And exhale. One more. Let the belly rise. Inhale. And exhale. One more round of the belly scooping in and up. Here we go. So belly scoops in, belly scoops up, but we're still breathing. So trying to create a firm, solid core. One of the tricks I use to try and engage my stomach muscles, like I literally right now, I'm not kidding, I feel a little bit out of shape since over the holidays. And so my core is not really that engaged. Like it's weird, it's just not working. But if you make sort of a hypothetical scenario in your mind, pretend there's a little 1-year-old running around, or 2, however old kids are when they start running, I forget, it's been a while. And then they're about to like jump on your tummy. So guarding, right? Not pushing out, but pulling in. So if there was a little tiny person about to jump on your tummy, you would want to engage your core. And it's funny how the thought of that, my core is like, yeah, just kidding. I know what to do here. And relax. That was a weird analogy or a weird trick, a weird visualization. I have way more weird ones. Preparing for handstand, thinking of cat barfing. That was a gymnastics teacher I had. And I've had cats before, so I fully know what that's about. Last core exercise. So either repeat what we just did, but put it all together. So that would be pelvic floor and belly scooping in and hold. Or there's version 2, which is a little bit harder. So what we'll do is, I'm actually holding onto my block. You can keep your arms on the floor or whatever. Just get rid of the arms. And then what we do is pick up one leg and extend it. And just notice how that makes the core work a little bit more. And put it down. Other side. And put it down. Keep going in either phase 1 or phase 2 or option 3 for extra crazy effort today is we extend the right leg up to the sky and the left leg extends out. So this is the most strenuous on your tummy muscles, belly scooping in. And then we scissor to the other side. And keep going at your own pace for either version 1, version 2, or version 3. I just have to adjust my block. You might need to as well. And then switch sides again for whatever variation you're doing. If you're doing the scissor legs or the one leg extends at a time, try to have equal time on each side. Notice if one side is more difficult than the other. And keep going. Little bit longer. This is our last kind of hurrah for class today. Keep the belly scooped in, even though it's working. Still think of that belly scooping in strong. Wherever you're at, let's make this the last round. I'm just finishing up my second side here. Things are shaking and release. Okay, we can remove the block and prepare for twisted roots or a two-legged twist, whatever's in your practice today. Whatever you're doing, arms out to the sides, palms facing down, hips shift to the right and knees move to the left, maybe all the way twisted, maybe not, but do take a quick peek. It's like a little crunch. Make sure that your hips are in line with your sternum and that the back is fully on the floor, the upper back. Right shoulder, I should say, to be more specific. And relax. This is one of my favorites. I'm just softening and melting into it. And then scoop the belly in. Press the low back into the floor. Square everything up. And then other side. So hips move to the left. The knees move to the right. Keep the left shoulder on the floor. And relaxing here. And scoop the belly in. Press the low back into the floor. Square everything up and then hug your knees in. Gently rock from side to side. And prepare for Shavasana, final resting pose. So feel free to put a sweater on or socks, make yourself feel cozy. As always, if your back needs a little extra support today, keep the knees bent with the feet on the floor. Otherwise, extending the legs and the arms along your sides, palms facing up, and closing the eyes. Relaxing everything, everything. but especially through the neck and the shoulders, and all the way down the arms, letting the fingers softly curl, softening through the face, softening around the eyes, and even the muscle between the eyes. And starting to come back. Wiggle the fingers and the toes. And gently roll your head from side to side. And reaching your arms above head on the floor for a big stretch, feeling totally refreshed. And then bend your knees in one at a time. And gently roll over to the right side. Pausing there for just a moment as you come back. And slowly press yourself all the way up to a comfortable seated position, taking all the time you need. And when you arrive, palms facing up on the knees, inhale, sitting up tall, exhale, closing the eyes, and taking those final moments to thank yourself for showing up to your practice today and taking care of you. And slowly open the eyes. Namaste, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today. Happy New Year. And I'll see you next week. Have a really good rest of your day.
Thanks, Carla.
Thank
You're
you, Carla.
welcome. Nice to see everybody again in the new year.
Happy New Year. Thanks, Carla.
You're welcome. Bye.